Hey everyone, it's Matt with My Model Y Adventure. Today we have version 2 of the blind spot monitors. I have version 1 installed already. There's just the passenger side. I absolutely love having this feature because now I don't have to necessarily always be checking my mirrors, or if I put my turn signal on, there's the only way to get the camera up here. Well, this way improves everything for visibility. This adds more features where they're going to flash when you got your turn signals on. If your door is open, it's going to be red. If you got your turn signal on, but there's a car coming, it's going to flash red to let you know. So stay tuned as we walk through what the install steps are and take a look at this new Gen 2 version. So I picked this kit up from Test Studio. I got the earlier one, I think it was like late last year, but didn't install it until January because it was really cold out here. I want to test to see if it's just a matter of kind of a new brain box in the Gen 2, or if Gen 2 actually has now new LED colors that are not in the Gen 1. So for those of you that have a Gen 1, is it just as simple as swapping out the brain, or do you need to run all the wires? So either way, the install steps are going to be the same. The first thing we have to do is remove kind of this trim panel over here. So for me, at least, it's going to be easier to remove this panel here. It's a little more difficult. There we go. I have this carbon fiber cover that just comes just so slightly over the edge. There we go. You got to take this panel off. This one just pops out and then slides up. There is a little kind of plastic part that goes down on the bottom here. And then there is behind here, let me move the camera. You can see a push pin right here that you have to remove. It's a little easier too to just pull this weather stripping off so you have more room to access everything. So let me see if I can do this one-handed. There we go, that just pops right off. And then the whole panel down here in the bottom just comes right off. I'm just going to set that on the ground, and then down here is where there's one more push pin. You can see it with the carpet right here. Let me just pop that off really quick. So what I'm going to do is see if we can just swap this over. So let's get the camera set up on a different angle here so you guys can see everything. If you're not swapping it over, this will cover what the install steps are too. So for the install, there's two things that are basically going to be installed. One of them here is this smaller white one, which is just basically going to plug in right here, and it has kind of a splitter in essence, where the stock one can plug into the top part here, and then the bottom part just plugs into the bottom part there. The second part is going to access, there's a port. Let me move this carpet out of the way. There is a port inside here. For me, I have a number of accessories already plugged in, but right where my fingers are right here, if you don't have anything, this port will be empty. If you have something like the stock Generation 1, I should say, blind spot monitor, you already plugged that into there. But this, again, just has a splitter, so luckily, if you do have any other products, just plugs in to there and there. So for me, I'm just going to unplug the first Gen 1. So let me trace down to where I have everything here. And that is, I believe, this one here. So it's a much bigger box than first generation. Interestingly, the second gen is much smaller. So let's go ahead and unplug this here. I have this one to undo and this one to undo. Move the wiring out of the way here. Let me undo the other OBD kind of connection over here. Let's see. There we go. So this is the first gen. I'm going to unplug the brain box because it's just plugged in by a USB-C cable here. And let's see what happens if we plug this in here. So let's get our power going. We got that one. Oh, help if I plug it in the right way. That one goes there. I'll clean up the cable management after we do kind of this little experiment. But let's get this plugged into here and plug this one into the port. These all only go in one way, which is nice. So you can actually see it's blinking red. So I think if you have the if you have the first gen, all you have to do is swap the brain box over. So let's take a look and see if you don't have the first gen installed, what the steps are. I've already recorded a video of those steps, so I'm just going to insert the process into the video now so you'll be able to see it. If you already have the first gen installed, you of course can just skip that, and we'll kind of cover what the new features are. The thing I did want to cover is on the dashboard. I do have a Torx screw, I think this is a T20. On both sides you're going to need to remove. So it's the same process on the driver's side. This trim panel, this piece here, so you can access, at least on mine, a screw. I know some other Model Ys don't have this screw. It just is something you can kind of pull off and remove. So let me get the wires plugged in, and then I'm also going to undo the screws on both sides, and then I'll kind of come back when I'm ready to lift the dashboard up. So I've undone the driver's side screw on the dashboard, did the passenger side screw in the dashboard, and then with your blind spot detection, there's going to be a longer side with the cable and then a shorter side of the cable. The shorter side, of course, when you have a left-hand drive model, is going to be here on the passenger side, and then the longer side cable is going to be down there on the driver's side. So just make sure when you're wiring this up that you're putting the right side cable with the right length. And let me go ahead and remove the dashboard now. So I've already done the driver's side, but this just kind of slides up, and you don't even need to bring it that far out or that far up, because you're in essence going to run the cable underneath here by just lifting it up and sliding it into here. And then there's a little slot that's right here. That's on each side. That's where you're going to put the blind spot detection device. So let me run. This is the shorter side cable. You can see it's only, I don't know, maybe like 2 feet, if I had to guess, because it doesn't need to go that far. You're in essence just going to run it here. So that is just going to simply wire up behind here. I'll help clean up some of the wire management when I am done, but then you're also going to do the driver's side. So let me go run over to the driver's side. I'll run the cable underneath the dashboard, and then we'll kind of talk through what the next steps are. So here I am on the driver's side. I have the blind spot detection monitor right here. So that's just going to slide in. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, and just basically sit right over here. So all you have to do is lift up the dashboard cover and then run the cable underneath it. A little hard to do that with just one hand holding the camera and then only having one hand free to work. So I'm not really going to show that right now, but you kind of get the idea of how you need to run the wires to have some clean wire management. So you can see over here, I have the one blind spot detection, and then down over here, if I can kind of zoom in a little bit, there you go, I have the other one. And then in essence, the wires I just have coming out of this side over here and then running down. I'm gonna have them run behind here and then basically plug in that USB-C cable, which is right here, down into the dongle down here. See if I can do this one-handed. And those are plugged in. So now that this is all plugged in, you can in essence just push these. They just kind of sit into the spot over here. You can angle them once you kind of are able to start driving. You know, might help if you have a passenger to angle it a little bit towards you, so as you as the driver can see on this side and then see down over on that side. And then just work on some wire management cleanup down here. I obviously have a ton of things, so I'm gonna have to bury this down into here to have room, but it's just the reverse steps, pushing the carpet against the wall here of the passenger side, buttoning up the push pin into here, putting the trim back on, and then don't forget to do, at least on the versions it's applicable for, the screws to hold the dashboard in. All right, so now that we have, or I should say I've buttoned everything back together with the wiring and cleaning everything up and reinstalling kind of the trim panels, wanted to talk about kind of the new features. So one of them, actually let me move over here to the driver's side, is the light now illuminates red if a door is open. So I'm just gonna pop open my door here and you'll see it's blinking red. On the camera it might show up orange, but in real life I can tell you it's red and it's blinking. So that works there. Let me actually shut this door and we'll do the same thing on the passenger side. I'm just going to press the button. You can see it begins blinking. One of the other things I do want to test out is if you are in opening a rear door. I know we kind of showed the driver door, the passenger door. I want to do the rear door. So let me actually have child lock enabled for the right side for my son back here, so he can't open the door. Let me turn off child lock for right now. And let me reach back here. I'm going to pop open the door and we'll see if it illuminates. It does. Awesome. So from a safety feature, if you start to drive away, maybe your door isn't closed all the way, it's going to blink and illuminate. Another feature that is added is turn signals. So let me turn on the right turn signal here. You can see it's blinking green. So this is a nice little reminder. I mean, obviously you have on the dash screen, the turn signal itself kind of blinking. You have your camera, but this is just, I guess, another addition to help remind you in the event that you are maybe oblivious to the sound. Maybe you got some music playing and you forget that your blinker's on, or if you don't have the auto turn signal feature enabled. I actually turned mine off because at least around me, entering a turn lane, I'd put my blinker on and then the car would turn off the blinker. And it'd be quite frustrating to see that even though the cameras might see on the road, like the line markings showing a turn arrow, you know, to turn left or right, it would still turn off. So I turned off that feature myself personally, but this is kind of a nice little reminder that your turn signal is on. Now, the other part that this has is when you do turn on your turn signal, and if there is a car, say to your right, maybe you are turning right, and you're in a maybe 2-lane configuration to turn right, or if you're driving and you want to change lanes to the right, you put your signal on. If the car sees that there is a vehicle in your blind spot, this will actually start blinking red to alert you, hey, you have a vehicle there, you cannot change. Now, I know Tesla added a software update where, like on the camera, it will actually kind of, you know, blink red over here to alert you to that too. But to be honest, at least for me personally, I'm not always just staring at this camera, or I should say the video of the camera feed. I'm looking out, you know, maybe my front window, or I'm looking out the passenger window. And it's nice to have just another feature that's here for safety. I have seen a lot of people kind of opposed to these blind spot monitors, and it makes me wonder why. Because a lot of modern cars, you'll see it kind of in the mirror. You'll see the blind spot monitor feature embedded into your mirrors. So are those people, because they don't have a screen, are you just expected to be always staring at the screen? You know, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But my wife and I are big enjoyers of just kind of this extra safety feature here. So that's kind of another feature that is enabled there. It, of course, still has, I'll put in some footage kind of over both the things that I'm talking about, one with the blind spot feature when you're turning, or if you're just driving and it's going to illuminate orange as well. So I'll overlay some footage as I'm kind of talking through this whole process to keep you updated and show you that there. So hope you guys kind of found this updated Gen 2. Almost dropped the camera there a little bit. I hope you guys found this Gen 2 update as beneficial as I did. This install process is literally just a few minutes. Either if you have Gen 1, you're literally just swapping out the brains. If you have no Gen 1 and this is your first time jumping into this, it is a very simple process of just removing, just barely, let me have the camera focus, the dashboard cover here. Alternatively, you can run the wires kind of underneath and around and underneath some of the trim over here if you don't want to take your dashboard off. It's a very simple process. I know the video kind of showed everything for you there. So I'll drop a discount code in the link below, but using code ADVENTURE will save you like 20% off the Gen 2 blind spot monitors. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions about, the blind spot monitor features. Again, I picked these up from Test Studio. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. This was Matt from My Model Y Adventure.